Hey team, welcome to the ECU Baseball venue-specific training video. First, let's go over a general operation overview and get to know EATS2SEATS at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Let's get to know the venue. Our baseball event matrix includes a normal concession stand, hawking, and 2 push carts. Parking is at the Gold Lot by Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, and to get to check-in at Gate 5, you'll walk directly through the Gold Lot, past the stadium, and then the first gate you approach at Clark LeClaire will be Gate 5, where you'll check in with your EATS2SEATS site lead. The uniform standard is all black and an EATS2SEATS vest is provided, and you must wear non-slip shoes and a non-branded black hat. If you have long hair, make sure that it's up before you come to work, and also make sure that you're following appropriate hygienic standards like cutting your nails and showing up clean to work. Now let's go over what you can expect as an EATS2SEATS staff member at Clark LeClaire Stadium. For hawking and push carts, what is it? Hawking is mobile vending. It's carrying around a strapped tub of water, sodas, and hot chocolate. To do this position, you must be able to carry 10 to 30 pounds of product around the venue. Concessions, what is it? Concessions includes cashiering positions, runner positions, and food prep positions. Food preppers will help the cooks prep food, runners will get product to front of house for cashiers, and cashiers will facilitate customer transactions and maximize the tip volume for the stand. However, you may not under any circumstances self-tip yourself. Why would you hawk or work a push cart? It's a great way to make big tips. There are no tip pools and you keep what you make. Fans don't want to leave their seats, miss the show, and have to wait in line for their drink, so we bring the product to them and they tip more. The more you hustle, the more money you'll make, and that's the beauty of hawking. In regards to best practices, always upsell. If a customer only orders one item, ask them if they want another one, and ideally it's a complimentary product. For example, if a customer orders a food item, offer them a drink. Also say cheers after every sale if you're a cashier, and follow the EATS2SEATS cashier script, which we'll go over later in this video. Also, always over communicate with your site lead on your restock needs, whether you're in the stand, a hawker, or a push cart. Hawkers, hawk the main bowl and spend the entirety of your time during sales either within the bowl or in the outfield jungle. Next, let's go over our leadership breakdown at Clark LeClaire. Each ECU baseball game will be led by an EATS2SEATS site lead, which is your point of contact for all things EATS2SEATS. Feel free to ask your site lead anything. If you're in the main stand, you'll be led by your stand lead and the cooks, where the cooks will prepare all the food in the main stand, and your stand lead will coordinate with the cooks, the cashiers, and the runners in the main stand to make sure it runs effectively. Then at the staff level, we have hawkers, main stand staff, and push carts, where they will facilitate customer transactions and maximize both sales and tip splits for the night. Next, let's go over our venue layout overview. Check-in will be at Gate 5, where you'll check in with your EATS2SEATS site lead, and then all positions will report to the main stand, which is right behind the Gate 5 wall before deploying. Hawkers, you can find your hawking equipment in the right side of the main stand, and once you get set up, then you can deploy to the bowl or the jungle, which is on the outfield, and you'll go left from the main stand to get there. For our push cart staff, all of our push carts are right outside of the main stand, so we'll get it set up there with water, beer, and peanuts, and then we will deploy to our first station, which push cart 1 is on the way to the jungle from the left of the main stand, and then push cart 2 is deployed directly behind Gate 5. Next, let's review our product overview. At our main stand, we sell a lot of products, so pay attention. On our menu, we have hot dogs, burgers, fries, chicken tenders, candy, sodas, hot chocolate, popcorn, and pretzels. This is a very comprehensive menu, and there are a lot of moving parts, so that's why it's very important to familiarize yourself with not only what product items we sell, but also how to prep them and how to make them very efficiently while utilizing food preppers, cooks, and runners to help make the cashiers' lives easier. Next, our hawkers will only sell water, hot chocolate, and sodas, and as we previously reviewed, make sure that you're listening to what the customers want, and that if one product item isn't selling, that you're swapping it out quickly. Next, let's review our push cart products menu. We're going to sell beer like Michelob Ultra, Miller Lite, and seltzers, as well as water, sodas, and peanuts. Next, let's dive into our EATS2SEATS general policy review. In regards to preparing for your first shift, your EATS2SEATS staff app is going to be your home base for a lot of the things you need. You'll be able to find the event logistics and the event-specific GroupMe, and be able to sign up all on the home tab of your EATS2SEATS staff app. Then you're going to complete the venue-specific training for your venues on the My Trainings tab of your EATS2SEATS staff app. You'll be required to watch a video, read some material, and then take a quiz and score 100% to be able to work at any venue with EATS2SEATS. Then you will review the logistics document to understand where parking and check-in is. And then finally, you'll review your leadership one-pager, which will be sent the day before the event in your event-specific GroupMe. To go over more general policies, first is our dropout policy, where if you are on the final roster within 24 hours of the event and you drop out, you will receive a written warning. You are allowed up to 3 unexcused dropouts before your employment with us will be terminated. You will receive all of your written warnings via your EATS2SEATS staff app, and you may also appeal those written warnings via your staff app as well. We also have our tardiness policy, which means you are required to arrive within 30 minutes of the designated report time for any event you sign up for on your EATS2SEATS staff app. If you arrive after 30 minutes, you will receive a written warning. You also must say cheers after each sale if you are a cashier, and you will receive a written warning if you don't. Our cashless venue policy states that you will not take cash for tips or cash for any transactions if the venue has deemed themselves cashless. We also have our all black uniform policy, which we've already reviewed, as well as our service standard policy, which confirms simple things such as not having earbuds in, a hood on, sunglasses on, and that you won't be on your phone or eating food in front of customers. It also acknowledges that if you need a break, you will ask someone to step in for you, and you will confirm that with your site lead before taking a break. We also have a tipping theft policy, which we've mentioned previously, but to confirm, you will never be allowed to self-tip yourself, and if you are caught doing so or accused by the venue of doing so, you will be terminated immediately. Next, let's go over our alcohol policies. Our general alcohol laws are law number 1, never serve more than 2 beers per customer. If they have one in their hand, you may only serve them 1 more. Law number 2, you must ID every customer. If you have any doubt as to the validity of the ID, you are empowered to say no. Law number 3, open every beer we serve, keep the caps, and throw them away at the end of the shift. Lastly, alcohol law number 4, never serve to a customer that already seems intoxicated. If you have any concern as to the inebriation level of the customer, you are empowered to say no. You may not be able to directly serve alcohol at Clark LeClaire Stadium, but go ahead and complete your ABC certification so that you are eligible to serve alcohol during the upcoming football season. You will also be forced to complete a repeat after me activity when you come on site if you're serving alcohol, which is pretty much an oath that you repeat back to your site lead, affirming that you acknowledge these alcohol policies and that you will be vigilant in enforcing them while on site. Next, let's review checking in with your site lead and what to do once you get to your stand. Let's review a general event timeline for an ECU baseball game. Important times during the event are report time, sales start time, the 7th inning stretch, alcohol cutoff, and closedown. And the good news is alcohol cutoff and the 7th inning stretch have the same significance in regards to this is when we will begin closedown for all positions, and this is also when alcohol cutoff exists. You can see here on the slide that assuming a game starts at 3 p.m., gates will be at 1 o'clock p.m., and that staff report time for push carts in the main stand would be at noon, and then staff report time for hawkers would be 2 o'clock p.m. In summary, doors and sales are always going to open 2 hours before first pitch, and staff report time will always be an hour before sales start or doors open and 3 hours before first pitch. Next, let's review our event day checklist. Your pre-sales responsibilities include making sure you've confirmed your roster spot on your staff app, having your staff passport ready to scan for your site lead at check-in, familiarizing yourself with your stand, menu, setup needs, and product items, take the on-site service quiz and show your lead you've passed with 100%, help your stand lead count inventory, make sure your point of sale systems are working, and once the full team arrives, assign tasks to everybody to make sure we're being as efficient as possible throughout the shift. Also help us enforce other team members to follow the cashier script, to maximize tip opportunities, to take breaks not during rush times, and to not be on their cell phone or eating in front of customers. Also, most importantly, help us enforce saying cheers after each sale. We need your help enforcing this policy. During sales responsibilities, overarching goal is to maximize both sales and tips that are coming into the stand, but also to make sure that we're properly tracking inventory, to make sure that everyone's having a great time, to clean as we work that makes the end of the shift and close down easier, to handle any customer issues, and to start the pre-close down procedures about 15 to 30 minutes before the 7th inning stretch, or otherwise known as close down. Your post-sales responsibilities include making sure the stand is as clean as when we got there, to make sure that our site lead is satisfied with how the stand is clean and that inventory was done properly. And once those two things are completed, then you may check out with your site lead. Next, let's review our check-in flow. The flow of check-in will go as follows. First, make sure you arrive on time. Remember, if you arrive after 30 minutes of the designated report time listed on your staff app for the event, you will receive a written warning. Then you'll check in with your site lead at gate 5 after you park at the gold lot by Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. When you check in with your site lead, you'll get your EATS2SEATS vest, and then the site lead will review our break and meal policy with you at check-in. Then all staff will go to the main stand initially after check-in. Your site lead will give you a rundown and confirm you understand our procedures and policies for your position. Then the main stand staff will begin prepping the stand for sales, and then our hawkers and pushcart folks will help main stand staff set up. Then they will set themselves up. Pushcart folks set up your pushcarts. Hawkers, stock yourselves with hot chocolate, soda, and water, and then deploy to your respective areas. Next, let's review our pre-shift huddle. Every single game, 20 minutes before gates start, all EATS2SEATS personnel on site will gather in a large circle 20 minutes before gates. Everyone will introduce themselves, and then our site lead will go over policies, go over the flow of the operation for hawkers, pushcarts, and main stand staff, as well as leadership, and then acknowledge the fact that everyone is here to make money and review tips to maximize tip potential over the course of the shift for all staff. At the end of the huddle, we'll gather back in the circle with our left arm in and say cheers on 3. Next, let's review what you need to do and how to operate during sales at Clark LeClair Stadium. First, let's go over product displays. While you're setting up, we need our stand to look optically perfect. Here's an example of a great sales display where customers could see all of our products, and then here's an example of a bad sales display where you saw the napkin container sitting in front of our sales display. We also need to make sure that we pre-stock proactively, that we have speed lines set up where cashiers can easily grab products right next to their point of sale system and reduce motion waste, thus increasing throughput throughout the shift. We need to make sure that the lead is helping push lines during busy times, like anytime there's a 7th inning stretch or whatnot. It's also important that all cashiers and runners are perfectly uniformed, and overall, the main goal is that optics are everything and everyone needs to understand that on site. So make sure that you and your sales displays and our stand overall look optically perfect. Next, let's go over the types of point of sale systems we'll be using and how to use them. If you're in the main stand as a cashier, you'll be using a bigger point of sale, such as the Clover Sport. To log in, you're going to need a venue supervisor to swipe their access card to get you logged in, and then once they do that, you should be set up for the shift to use the point of sale without any hassle. To select items for a customer order, you simply tap on the item to add it to your cart, and then you'll click the green checkout button to start the transaction on the customer side, and then you'll click the credit button so that it shows up on the handheld side that is facing the customer, where then they will leave a tip and finalize the transaction. If you need to remove an item from a customer order, simply tap on it on the left side of the point of sale system and click that red minus button, and then it will be removed. If you're a hawker or on a push cart, you will use a mobile handheld point of sale system like seen here on the slide. Your site lead will provide your username and your PIN number to you to sign in, and you must remember your PIN number because this is how we track your tips. When you're making a sale on the handheld point of sale system, it's very straightforward. Simply click the plus button on the product item that the customer orders, then click the cart button in the top right corner of the point of sale system, and then click that green credit button at the bottom of the point of sale system, and then flip it back over to the customer to select the tip amount and then to swipe their card to finalize the transaction. If you're a hawker or on a push cart, it's very important that you decide the right products to sell and that you're also upselling. When gates open, if it's cold, load up with hot chocolate, and if it's warm, load up with water and soda. Once you notice sales are slowing down for a specific product item, switch it out. Also, in general, just be dynamic and listen to what customers are asking for. If you notice that something isn't selling for you, go back to the main stand and switch it out for something else. Just don't get married to anything in your tray and always be willing to be dynamic. Lean on your site lead for restock because we want you in the bowl or deployed in the jungle for as long as possible during sales, so always make sure you're communicating with your site lead and that they are bringing your restock to you if possible. Next, let's review the runner relationship to both food preppers and cashiers. In regards to pre-shift, one runner should be paired to every 2 cashiers within the stand. Your stand lead should take care of this for you. There also should be 1 food prepper paired to each cook within the stand. The food prepper should work with the cooks to mass produce popular items and get ahead of the production schedule. During sales, food preppers should help the cooks get ready food prepped and to a runner as efficiently and quickly as possible. Runners should take the food from the food preppers and organize it in the correct locations. There are food warmers so cashiers can grab it much easier and not have to walk to the back of the house to grab items every single sale. Overall, the theme here is to reduce cashier motion waste. Runners, you should be grabbing all product items for your cashiers. This is because we need to reduce their motion waste, because this will both increase the overall amount of transactions during the shift, which in turn will maximize tip splits for all staff within the stand. Next, let's review some tips to drive more sales and to reap the benefits tip-wise for yourself. Always utilize the EATS2SEATS service script and the cashier script to upsell and to maximize sales. Hawkers, be loud and be proud. You're there to make money. We want people who will walk around yelling, cold sodas, cold water, hot chocolate here. We need hawkers to be loud and to be proud. Fans will not buy from you if you're walking quietly around and waiting for them to approach you rather than you chasing the sale. Also, just have personality and have a good time interacting with customers. If you don't enjoy this, this probably is not the job for you. Be personable, ask them how their day is going, and ask them if they're enjoying the game. These little things can go a long way to increasing your tip take-home throughout the course of the shift. Lastly, let's review our closedown and checkout procedures at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Closedown will begin after the 7th inning stretch. However, remember, you have been soft closing at this point for about 15 to 30 minutes prior to get a head start. Hawker and pushcart closedown assignments include bringing your tub or your pushcart and any remaining product and your point of sale system back to the main stand to put any remaining product back and to give your site lead your final inventory counts from your tub or pushcart, to dump your ice, and then after that's done, check out with your site lead at the main stand, returning your vest and your point of sale system, and then also verify with your site lead that they have the correct point of sale pin down so we can get you an accurate tip pay. For main stand staff, you will follow the direction of your cook and stand lead to clean up all the counters, all of our hot food warmers, all the cooking appliances, and all the dishes that we used throughout the shift. Once your stand lead has confirmed that the stand is clean, it's been swept and mopped, then you may be dismissed by your site lead, but you also have to return your EATS2SEATS vest when you check out. Your cooks and your stand leads will ensure that cleanup goes properly by supervising it, and they'll also remind staff to throw away trash, to break down cardboard boxes, and then they will get an ending inventory count, confirm it with the site lead, and then everyone will check out for the night. The overarching theme of Closedown is to leave the main stand, our hawking tubs, and our push carts the way we found them. Unless you found it in a bad spot, then we would leave it better than we found it. Thank you for watching this video. Now be sure to get 100% on your venue-specific training quiz to be able to work at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Also, please text any questions you have to your ROD or email us at support@EATS2SEATS.com and we'll get back to you ASAP. Thank you for watching this. May God bless America and may God bless EATS2SEATS.